Gentlemen, you're still watching the Nile Cruise, and now we're going to talk about the film festivals happened during 2025 and also about the filmmaking. 2025 has been a vibrant year for Egyptian cinema as film festivals across the country celebrated the local talent, welcomed international cinema, and sparked renewed cultural conversations. From Cairo to Luxor and from Hurghada to the Red Sea coast, these festivals offered cinematic windows into Egypt's society and beyond, and also showcasing new voices, honoring heritage and helping shape the future of film in the region. And to shed more light on this topic, we are delighted to have with us here in Nile Cruise Mr. Ahmed Shamaa. He is a director. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed, for joining us today in Nile
You're very
Cruise.
much welcome. Thank you.
Tell us more about the film festivals that took place in 2025 at the beginning.
Here in Egypt, we have two major film festivals. First one is the Cairo International Film Festival, which is one of the most celebrated and recognized film festivals around the world. Technically, it's one of the greatest, one of the earliest film festivals around the world. It was established in 1978, and throughout the years, this festival, Cairo Film Festival, showed many international films, many international stars, and it's widely celebrated around the world, around the globe. And we have also the newcomer, the emerging new festival, Guna Film Festival, which is a new talent which is showing very much presence in the area and around the globe as well.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed, what does the decision during the Cairo International Film Festival 2025 to compile the 25 greatest Egyptian films of the 21st century so far? Tell us more about the festival's vision and ambition.
You know, Egyptian cinema is one of the most ancient cinemas, one of the earliest cinemas around the world. But we should celebrate our movies. We should celebrate our heritage in cinema. But this move of celebrating the new movies or the movies produced in the 21st century is an essential step, because these movies need to be celebrated. They need to be recognized by ourselves and by the world, by the entire world. So the step of giving special attention to the best movies that were produced during the last 25 years, yeah, it's a smart step and a good step for marketing ourselves as one of the leading cinemas in the world and most influential cinemas in the world, and throughout the region, of course.
Yes, of course. Mr. Ahmed, you just mentioned the Guna Film Festival. How has this film festival contributed to putting Egyptian cinema on the global map in 2025, and what made this year's edition special?
Yeah, this year in Guna, they showed many international film festivals. Many international films that were shown in. They were shown in Cannes Film Festival, Berlin Film Festival. The marketing team of Guna, they showed many important films. For example, the movies that won Cannes Film Festival, they were shown at Guna Film Festival. The Iranian film, it was just an accident. It was shown at Guna, and also they put a special focus on one of the most important filmmakers, Egyptian filmmakers, Yusuf Shaheen, and they celebrated one of his movies, اسكندرية كمان وكمان, and they made a special tribute to him. يعني combining the new and the old, combining new cinema, new international cinema, and old cinema as well, classical cinema cinema of Yusuf Shaheen.
Yes. Mr. Ahmed, there are festivals outside Cairo, like the Luxor African Film Festival. How important are these in decentralizing the cinema culture and giving a platform to African and regional voices?
Yeah, I feel cinema shouldn't be localized in the capital. Cinema shouldn't be just in Cairo or in Guna. Guna is a niche place. Cairo is the capital, is the center, but art is everywhere. Art is everywhere in Cairo. We have a duty towards people who live outside Cairo to see films, to get more engaged with cultural events, including and especially film festivals. Like the Luxor Film Festivals and Aswan Film Festival for women. It's another recognized film festival that shed a light on a cultural aspect that needs to be expanded.
Yeah, and this is diversity in the cinema production. Also, 2025 saw growing support for youth and emerging filmmakers, for example, through Hurghada International Youth Film Festival. What significance does this have to the future of Egyptian cinema?
Yeah, of course. Cinema, يعني we have to acknowledge cinema is a youth medium.
Yes.
Like cinema should put focus on youth because like most of the people of the world are youth. Most of like 50% of the people of the world are below 30 or 25. Mentioning or channeling the ideas of the youth is essential and it's a step towards like developing cinema and showing new voices. Showing talents and putting focus on young talents is important. Is as important as giving tributes to old cinema or old classical cinema.
Yes. And from your perspective, Mr. Ahmed, how effective have these festivals been in promoting the intercultural dialogue and also introducing Egyptian audiences to global cinema?
Yeah, it's really important. It's really important. يعني, for example, this year, Cairo Film Festival shed a light on Turkish cinema and Middle Eastern cinema, like Iranian cinema and Palestinian cinema. For us as audience, as members of like, the cultural movement of this country, we had the opportunity to see different cultures, different voices, and ironically, Middle Eastern cinema is very similar to Egyptian cinema, but from from another perspective. Like when I'm watching a Turkish film, I can relate to it because it's Turkey in a way is similar to Egypt, Iran in a way is similar to Egypt. Like the general landscape, the same causes, social background, it's similar. You had the opportunity to see like something new, and as well as something relatable.
Yes, and do you think that the diversity of festivals this year, like youth-focused African cinema, international competition, reflects a changing landscape in what kinds of stories Egyptian cinema is interested in?
Yeah, diversity is the key word. Diversity is the key word in cinema and in art in general. Like the last 15 years or maybe the last 10 years, diversity is the main issue.
Okay.
Like we should have diversity. Movies shouldn't be only about certain specific ideas or certain specific people, certain specific causes. Movies should explore more ideas about race, about marginalized people. But diversity is the key. We need to get exposed to diverse films, to films that show like different ideas, unique perspectives.
Yes, and what have been the main achievements of 2025 film festivals in terms of talent discovery, industry growth, audience engagement, and international attention?
Yeah, I think it's a growing, like cinema is facing a backlash from streaming services and from like showing movies, like people seeing movies on phones. So we need like international film festivals. We need film festivals for people to get back to the cinema. We need to celebrate films more, so that people can come back and go to the movie theater and see cinema, and see the movie like they should be, like it should be in a cinema. And film festivals promotes the idea of like having cinema as a cultural event, as a collective social event where people gather and sit in one place and watch films.
And on the flip side, what challenges remain for Egyptian film festivals?
Basically, I guess it's grants and money and more international recognition. We need to be like more exposed to other regions. We need like more people, more international talents to come and see and recognize our cinema. Egyptian cinema is celebrated in the Middle East, but I think we deserve to be celebrated worldwide.
Of course. And looking ahead, based on what we saw in 2025, Mr. Ahmed, what would you like to see in the coming years from Egyptian film festivals? New genres, more regional inclusion, technology integration, or something else?
Basically, I want more exposure. I want us, our film festivals to be more exposed, to invite more talents, to invite diverse talents, to invite like people from around the globe, and make them like recognize how our cinema is different, or how our cinema is unique, and how our cinema is rich.
Tell us about your works, your latest works.
Yeah, like recently I have been focusing on writing like TV shows. I wrote a TV show recently that was shown on a streaming service called Wild Ben Shape. I wrote the screenplay for it, and I'm doing independent theater. Yeah, right now. I'm doing a play which is being shown here in Cairo, in downtown Cairo.
And back to the film festivals, if you were to sum up what 2025 meant for Egyptian cinema in one sentence, what would that be?
The emerge of new voices and giving a chance to the youth to to give to lend their voices and celebrate their generation. I guess like many festivals they give special awards to the youth, and many of them like put special focus on young talents. But this year is basically the year of the new talents, the year of the new voices.
Mr. Ahmed, some festivals experimented with new formats and themes, such as the launch of an Al-Film competition at the Cairo Francophone Cinema Festival. What does this say about how Egyptian festivals are adapting to global technological and artistical trends?
Yeah, we should adapt. Yeah, cinema is a changing medium. We should adapt to different forms of cinema. For example, 3D cinema, it was a big thing like 15 years ago. And like 10 years or 7 years, VR cinema, it was a big thing. Now there's AI. Like there are special movies that are made by AI. There are special festivals that are made by AI techniques. But we should focus on like whatever that new technology is bringing us. We should focus on it because that's the future. That's the future of cinema, and we shouldn't be like left behind. We should focus on what's going to happen in cinema and be up to date, and yeah, so not to fall behind and like just celebrate our classics and just celebrate what happened before. We should stay like ahead of the curve.
Yes, and talking about young generations and schools, do you believe that we must or we should introduce a new subject at schools like filmmaking or film directing or acting? Tell us more about your aspirations towards this point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's an important need like to celebrate like first of all watching movies and getting exposed to movies, then like sharing and trying to sharing opinions like writing critique film criticism is really important, and then moving to the technical side and the industrial side of making films. But yeah, it would be great if we had like the opportunity for students to make their own movies, and that's in a way happening with social media. Like young talents, they make their own they make these special, very short films on various social media platforms. Using this and having that into like a bigger scale that can be like sponsored by the government or sponsored by the state, yeah, it will be great. It will be great, and will help us like discover more talents, similar to sports. Like we can organize like sports events where young talents emerge. It can be like the same way it can be done in art, cinema, either cinema or theater.
You just mentioned, Mr. Ahmed, the social media impact and how do you view the social media impact on the cinema industry? I mean, the platforms introducing the movies before been released in the cinema. How do you view this influence?
Yeah, in a way, it's double-edged. It's a double-edged weapon. Yeah. It can be used for good reasons and can be used for harmful reasons. For example, like social media, is like they cut the attention span of people. People can't watch movies that stand for long periods of time. A 3-hour movie will be a nightmare for someone who is used to watching a reel on TikTok that lasts for 20 or 30 seconds. But that's the downside of it. But on the other side, like people using or doing these, making these, they are exposed to like editing formats. They're exposed to like VO formats, like using music. But in a way, it hurt expanding cinema or expanding forms of cinema. But for viewing cinema, like watching cinema, yeah, it kinda put a negative impact on it. And of course, streaming services as well harming the industry. From my perspective, يعني movies are made, especially for movies. For TV shows it's okay. يعني TV خلاص, TV show should be watched on a small screen, but for films it should be watched on a bigger screen. Having a streaming service that only show their films as content, not as art, on a small screen, it's not the best thing, but it's the future. It's the future, and we have to keep up with it.
Yeah, and if we compare the cinema production at all times, maybe in the 70s and 80s and 90s, by nowadays production, can you tell us more about this comparison?
Yeah, يعني in the old days it was mass production. Like we produced lots, hundreds of films. And for example, we had like 150 films plus per year. Now we're not facing the same. We're not doing the same thing. We're facing problems. Like we have like 50 films a year, and like 20 of them are good, and the other 30 are average between good and not that good. Why in the back days the quantity helped? Like we had like 150 films a year, and the majority were good. The majority focused more on the craft, focused more on storytelling. Why now, like budgets and a movie should have a big budget is harming the industry. We need more independent films. We need more films that show smaller aspects. A movie shouldn't be always grand. A movie should always led by stars. Yeah, stars are important and grand movies are important, but like movies sometimes they need to be like smaller and more intimate and more warm. And that's the thing we need. Back in the day we had war movies, we had small movies, we had like movies, we had a lot of movies. We have different genres, we have different kinds of films, but now it's kind of limited in a way.
Yes, yes, Mr. Ahmed Shamaa, the director, thank you very much for joining us today in Nile Cruise. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, short break, I will be back.